All right, this is KCOU. We are off of the Literary Underground session with Pizza Boy. That was awesome. Thank you so much for coming in again. Appreciate it. But I did want to just kind of ask, because I know that you've been doing this Pizza Boy persona for a while. I was wondering where exactly that started and how Pizza Boy really started gaining some momentum. And I know you have a few projects out, so you just want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. This started around July, August of last year. It wasn't an intentional thing, like it wasn't very contrived at all, which is always the coolest stuff in the world to me. I like planning things, but it's always cool when things kind of just happen and they kind of take over. But my name's origin kind of comes from the fact the whole time I was in college, I mean, well, really my whole life, I never really liked going outside much. Shout out Earl Sweatshirt because he doesn't like stuff and he doesn't like to go outside. But but around college, I was a little more active and sociable. But I still stayed in the dorm room too much to the point where we had to set up an arrangement with my roommate. Like whenever he had to invite girls over, I would kind of go sleep in the living room because he knew I would be there. Like there was never a time where I wasn't there. But because I didn't leave the house, I would order pizza like at least twice a week. Like to the point where since none of us ever took out the trash, there'd just be boxes and boxes of pizza and like $40, $50 orders too. Money that I really couldn't afford to be spending, but anything beats going outside and having to talk to people aside from the delivery man. So yeah, that got around to my friends, and they're like, "You have a problem," and then they called me Pizza Boy, and it was kind of generic, and I didn't really think about it. But then I was like, those are the things that people tend to gravitate towards for some reason, like generic things, but catchy things. And I think Pizza Boy is just simple enough that it's like, okay, I can get behind this. Explicitly, the name was given to me by a friend on Twitter that I fell out of contact with. I wonder where she is, but shout out Courtney because she was cool and she never called me ugly, which I can't say for a lot of girls. So, yeah, there you go.
So, kind of going off of that a little bit, I noticed during that session you had a lot of honest lines in there, and especially a lot of the stuff in between the songs as well. You were really getting into a lot of your personal life. Was that something that was part of the Pizza Boy persona from the very beginning, or did that come to be as you were performing under that name, or was that something like a conscious decision when you were starting out?
That's kind of like the backbone of my entire life. Like, it's definitely a conscious decision to be almost painfully candid, like to the point where people are actually uncomfortable. I know a lot of artists get touted as being like, I guess, vulnerable and emotional and forthright with how they're feeling, but I I try to not even tell myself no filter. I try to just forget what the concept of a filter is when I'm recording because I feel like it's an obligation to myself and the people listening because that's what a lot of my favorite art does for me. It makes me feel that it's okay to be myself because they're being themselves unabashedly, just doing whatever it is that they want to do. So yeah, it's definitely a conscious decision to be like that awkward. Not that I really have a choice. Like I'm naturally just that way. Like I know culture nowadays kind of fetishizes or fetish. I'll figure that out later. The fetish word, like Tumblr, for instance, like it's almost cool to be depressed or awkward or something like that, and it's not cool. Like it sucks a lot of times, but it does make for great moments of reflection. So I try to let that shine in my music, that little light of mine.
And you mentioned Earl Sweatshirt just a second ago, so I was kind of wondering. It sounds like that is a big inspiration for you, Earl Sweatshirt, or maybe it isn't. But what kind of artists really do you gravitate toward when you're listening to rap and hip hop, and what kind of influences you the most in that regard?
I'm a fan of Earl, but to be completely honest, uh, hashtag rap beef warning ahead of time. I think he's biting me. I think I can do what he does and better. But I would like to collaborate with him at the same time. No, it's just naturally competitive nature of this rap thing that I chose to insert myself into, probably stupidly. But artists I enjoy. Childish Gambino has kind of started this revolution I'm noticing amongst youth. He's kind of mainstream, but with this sense of independence and uniqueness that I think was really needed. I enjoy Milo, Johnny Polygon. This is just like strictly rap. Um, Drake. I'm a huge Drake stan. I really like Drake. I don't trust people that don't like Drake. Well, no, I don't really care if you don't like Drake, but I enjoy Drake. Hmm. J. Cole. Uh, Shout out Charles Hamilton, just cause that's gonna be an inside joke when people watch this. But yeah, that's the large majority of my rap diet. Yeah, just really quick outside of rap, Toro Amoi. Um, and since I can't remember anything outside of rap, I'm just gonna pass it back to you. So I do listen to more than rap.
So I do notice you're saying you do have a lot of music that you like that is outside of rap. So is that stuff that you want to incorporate into your sound? Is that something that you would want to have be more of like the focus of Pizza Boy, or do you want to have a nice balance? Is it like what is the main focus of like what kind of sound you're going for?
Well, yes, I do want to kind of incorporate these other influences because I feel like there's kind of an advantage to every genre. Like even country, because I know a lot of people say they like everything but country. I like country. Um, I feel like rap affords you this ability to kind of be um, absurd to a degree. Like I feel like a lot of other genres take themselves seriously. In rap, you're kind of champion nowadays for being absurd, like O Lil B or someone like McConan. Although I don't think he's trying to be that way, but yeah, I try to incorporate these other genres, mainly melody, because I feel like what makes a good song is something that sticks. I've been listening to a lot of pop music for the past like 2 or so years, just kind of trying to get myself acquainted with what seems to spread rapidly throughout the societal avenues. I'm getting really AP English for no reason right now, but yeah, I've been trying to strengthen my hook writing, bridges, things of that nature, trying to make my music infectious, just as sticky as possible. And I know a lot of times just straight rapping doesn't quite do that. Like I pride myself. That's my main skill. Like I started writing and then like I've made beats later and then everything else. But writing, like the art of writing, diction, syntax, everything that goes into writing and getting a thought across clearly, concisely. Um, that's pretty much what I'm a fan of. So I try to do that while bringing in stuff that'll make people want to be like, hey, that's not just a guy talking at me. That's music. So yeah.
And just for the final question, I just wanted to kind of touch on what the future is for Pizza Boy, what you want to do with this persona, like what projects you have coming down, just anything that is coming up for Pizza Boy here.
Um, I'm working on an album right now. I just put out one called "This Is Pizza Boy," like a little over a month ago, or almost a month now. But I'm working on something. It's tentatively titled "Girls Love Dating White Guys." I'm probably not going to title it that. Someone in Skype said I should do that. It's another inside joke, but yeah, that's a broad generalization. That's not true. But yeah, I'm kind of just trying to promote this album and still make stuff. I'm always making stuff all the time. I try to not ever stop making things because um, I take my craft very seriously. And I know that rap seems to be nowadays something that people feel like they can just do. And honestly, probably find success at just starting. I know like Trinidad James like kind of burst on the scene and he had only been rapping for like a year. Meanwhile, I've been doing this since I was 14, but there's a respect to be had for that. And it's interesting because that just lends credibility to my belief that like rap is a feeling. Like you can have all the technical ability and you know all of the know-how, but it's if you can't express something, that rawness that kind of hits you in the soul, I think it's kind of all for naught. But yeah, future projects. I'm just trying to make things at all times. I want to do a movie one day. Uh, Maybe even like score a film, possibly. I don't know. Hi. Um, yeah. I guess that's pretty much it. I want to try not to ramble. Oh, before I forget, yeah. If you watch the performance, I just want to correct it. The third song, when I kind of started freestyling there, I made a boo boo, and that was unintentional. So I want to like actually rap that line now. It was I might want to let you cook. I might want to throw a stone, though it's better in my soup, not headed for your home. We could come together. We can make something good, or we can accept blandness. But why take what we're handed, give me no flavor, and I'd rather have famine, which is kind of a commentary on gender and racial relations. And it's a nod at the children's book Stone Soup, which is like, rather than throwing stones, we could all come together and make something collaborative and be nice to each other, world peace. I know I'm really idealistic, but that has to counterbalance the cynicism that I'm grappling with all the time. But yeah, I'm rambling, so here you go.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for the great answers. This has been Pizza Boy, and you've been watching a Literally Underground session on KCOU 88.1 FM.